That's right. I finally passed my first evaluation, and I couldn't be more happy. It took me quite some time. I think I've been trading evaluations for 6 months, 8 months. I just hit my 1 year mark in trading in general, but about 6 to 8 months of trading evaluations, and I finally have done it. And it finally feels good to have some sort of like payoff to really let you know that you're really not wasting your time, that you can actually get funded. It feels great. I'm not gonna lie, it feels great. There's been a lot of disappointment, a lot of failed evaluations, but I have finally done it, and I'm proud of it. I mean, I've put it on my wall, as cheesy as that sounds. What it's been doing for me so far since I've passed my trading is it's really kept me from making worse decisions, and keeping me grounded and like, hey, you can do this, and here's proof. And it's just been fantastic for me. And really what I wanted to do today was show it off a little bit, show off the certificate, show off, just take it all in for once. I mean, it's been absolutely crazy, this trading journey, and I finally have something to show for it. So I'm glad I can show this. But what I am hoping to do today is I'm hoping to kind of just quickly break down how I made this happen, and what changes that I made, and what I've done more recently to make this happen. Before I hop right into that, I really do want to show you right here at the bottom. I have this paid account, this PA Apex account, and I have one trading day. This is the paid account. More interestingly, though, that was my first one I got. This is a formal paid account. But as of a couple of days ago, I want to say Thursday, I hit my profit target on a second account. And that's where you see this $3,000 P&L. So I need 4 more trading days on this account. As long as I don't lose the $3,000, I will have a second paid account. So yeah, in just a matter of 1 to 2 weeks, I've gotten not only my first one, but also my second funded account. So there is a part of me that is proving to myself that I am able to do this. And it's awesome. I mean, just the feeling knowing that, you actually are getting better as a trader, and that I'm learning things, and really just wanted to go over now kind of the decisions that I made to get to this point. Number one is my trading size. I have been doing a lot of researching more successful traders than me, and prop firm traders, all across the board. But what I've found out is there are a lot of traders who, on their evaluations, they change up their risk versus their funded. So what they would say is they are more risky on their funded accounts, or excuse me, I'm sorry, they're more risky on their eval accounts, to where they can size up, and their objective is just to get the funded, right? The funded is where you actually make the money, and the objective is to get funded accounts and kind of stack them up. So I started messing around with increasing my size, and it worked. My strategy roughly stays the same. It's pretty basic, pretty fundamental. I would say it's really basic supply and demand, really basic support and resistance. And I can go over that and kind of explain. I'm just going to go over the last day or two just to show examples of where I might take a trade and what a general trade might look like, and then sizing on that trade as well. This is Friday's action. A couple of days ago. It's Sunday right now as I'm recording this video. I wasn't really taking any trades unless that there was some significant movement that I could hop in on. And I'm also making these trades within the context of the higher time frames. So if we zoom out to like the 1 hour, the 1 hour is pretty consistently in a downtrend here. And so I'm using, as simple as that is, top left, and we're downtrending, putting in lower highs and lowered lows. So I'm thinking downtrend. So as we approach these days, what I'm looking for is trades that will go with the trend. And so my approach is pretty simple. Look for short opportunities. longs are fine as long as we are obviously breaking important resistance levels and bouncing out of demand levels. I'm happy to do those, but again, the priority is focusing on those shorts. For instance, I probably wouldn't have traded at anything this morning just because of the chop. I like to wait for the morning volatility to play out, get your opening range, find some breaks, stuff like that. But what I was looking for here, what I might have been tempted to do is take a long position off of this bounce right here. I'm glad I didn't. I didn't really trade anything on Friday, but what I'm looking at, I didn't even open up the charts on Friday. What I'm looking at here is this kind of pre-market resistance level. And we bounced off of it kind of at 3 a.m. We bounced it off of it at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then we bounced again at 10:15 after the market opened. So what I'm looking at here is this is a pretty significant support level. And then we had a pretty significant sell-off basically from like 11 to 1:30 or 2. We broke below this level. So what I'm viewing now is I'm viewing that support as resistance. As simple as that is, I'm looking at it. And again, this is still within the context of the higher time frame, bearish time frame. So I'm thinking it now is going to use that support as resistance. These are great. These little wicks, these are kind of additional confirmation that's showing that level of resistance is being respected. But this is something a little bit more interesting. I do like the bigger move, the more powerful move towards it, and still the very quick rejection off of it. So these are the kind of moves that I'm looking for and the kind of decisions that I'm looking for. I've been taking pretty quick scalps, so what I'm trading for these evaluations, I'm trading about one NQ contract. I will occasionally, if the trade is going really well, I'll size up to like 2 NQ minis or 2 NQ contracts, and usually I can pass an evaluation in probably 3-4 days just by getting one move a day like this, where it's like, if I can squeeze out 15, 20, 30 points, whatever I can get, usually 1 or 2 NQ contracts. I mean, you're pulling out $1,000 days. And usually they're pretty simple as long as you're following the trend and you're looking essentially for pullbacks and then shorting off of resistance levels that go with the higher time frame context. So the day before Thursday, I did trade this day. I actually don't remember what trades I had, but again, what I'm thinking here, obviously this is, in hindsight, this is great. What I'm looking at, a couple of things. I'm looking at overnight, I'm looking at resistance levels here. What I really like is the intraday resistance level, so resistance and support levels. So for instance, we had a pretty big sell-off, but we found support around like 14,270 right here. We found support twice and bounced out of it pretty heavily. So again, I'm thinking this is a great support level. Should be an opportunity to play off of that. Either let's say it comes back down into that level and then plays off it again. You can play in a long position if it finds support again. But in this particular case, it actually found support, or it traded through it pretty heavily here. So what I'm looking at, if we zoom in here, it broke through this initial intraday support level, broke through it, and we traded heavily. We had a lot of buying pressure back into it. And then this candle right here, with a pretty large wick, this is what would indicate to me that it's being respected. And this is a 5-minute chart. I'm sure if we zoomed in on the 1-minute chart, we would be able to see it a little bit more clearly. Maybe not. Maybe not. I just lost it. What I'm looking at here is that wick. That wick right here is indicating that it is being respected, and that at this price point, at the 275, that the sellers are present. I mean, obviously the buyers were pushing it up, but the sellers did fight back, and then boom, dropped right off of it. So what I'm thinking is, in hindsight, what you can look for is you can look for these intraday support levels or these resistance levels. Find areas where they are traded through, and let's just say you're trending, for instance, like this is in the beginning of the day it was trending a little bit, but the point being, number one, it is within the context of the higher time frame short or bearish outlook, and looking for opportunities to get short. So it's breaking through an initial support level during that day, so you know it's important that specific day, and then look for immediate retests of that level. I mean, it's a basic break and retest strategy. Break through an important level, retest it. If it looks like it's going to be respected, you've got a pretty decent risk to reward, right? You can basically put your stop, if you're testing that level, give yourself a stop above. I guess I have an order block here. Give yourself a decent stop and just trust the process, and keep your risk to reward, at least 2 to 1. What I like to do is I like to let them run if they're working. I'll basically be, especially on the evaluations with that trailing drawdown, I'll trail my stop for some time. So, again, these are things that you can see repeating. As fundamental and as basic as it sounds, it's just a basic supply and demand, basic support resistance, and it can pay. It can, and now I hope that I can continue to get these paid accounts, and I can continue to make this process work. But the things that have changed for me is realizing that I can be a little bit more risky on these evaluations because the goal is to get to the funded accounts. And then number 2, simplify what I'm trading. I mean, this is easily the most basic, fundamental, technical analysis you can do. I mean, you type in how to day trade, and they're like, okay, here's support, here's resistance, here are trends, here are higher time frame context. Like, this is 101 of day trading, and it's working out for me. As crazy as that sounds, I mean, I'm figuring out my risk to reward, at least in the evaluations. With the funded, I am going to size down significantly. I'm going to be more consistent, definitely with micros. I'm not going to be trading minis, at least right now. But I'm excited to get into it, and I'm excited to continue to test this strategy and just basic support and resistance, not overcomplicate it. And it is what it is. But it's this is cool. I'm so excited, and as funny as it is, it's on here on my wall, and I get to look at it every day in front of my screens in my little area, and I get to feel like I even remotely know what I'm doing. And the fact that I get to make these videos and put them out, and I don't know, I'm excited, man. I'm encouraged, I'm excited, and it feels like this is a turning point in my journey. I've basically just hit the 1-year mark, and I have my first funded account. I don't know if that was meant to be, but I'm encouraged. And I think that's super important in your trading journey, because this is, as ironic as this sounds, it's a game of ups and downs, trading up and down, but also emotional ups and downs, and trying to keep that under control and master yourself, because ultimately that's what this game is about. So that's it. That's all I've got. It's Sunday, and I'm going to get ready for the trading week ahead. Thanks for watching. Peace.